earlier, Jabril gave Micah credit for his interception and carrying the wide receiver over the middle of the field. From what you've seen so far, how does Jabril and Micah's skill sets complement one another?
Well, I think they're very complementary to one another. They both play with high instinct and awareness. You can see that, right away, even during the evaluation process. So I really like the look of those guys the last 2 days. There's definitely command and confidence. It's football is still football when you get out there. It's just doing it a certain way. The language is usually the biggest threshold to get over, and those guys are off to a really good start.
Yo, what's going on, Cowboys fans? Hey. Foots here. Just got out of church, feeling good. Many of you guys know that I play drums at church. So, being a musician is really cool. Got to get up. Got to just clear my mind a little bit. I also want to say thank you to all of you guys, all the comments, man. Like, that means a lot to me. Because, it is bigger than football. Like, we are like a community. So just the fact that you guys, show so much love, man, I really appreciate it. It was cool to see our guys, our draft picks on the field. I thought that was awesome. And I kind of wanted to do like a recap deal. So I got like 5 takeaways because minicamp, it's over. And I think that, either it's over or it's wrapping up today, 1 or 2. I think they have one more practice. But we're starting to see some storylines kind of develop. And I want to hit on some of that. But if nothing else, it's just good to see these are our guys, right? These are our guys. And now they're in Cowboys uniforms. They're running around, and they're now being coached, and their arms are wrapped around. The Cowboys organization is wrapped around these guys. Kelvin Joseph, Nashawn Wright, all these guys. Cox, Parsons. It was a heavy defensive draft, and they were all out there. So I want to talk about 5 takeaways that we got from this weekend's minicamp. And there is things to read into. There really, really is. Dan Quinn will be very hands-on. And this is what I love. This is what I think is going to change some of the culture on this team and some of this defense. With not being an elite defense, but just being better. Okay, Dan Quinn, just by his press conference and just by what he's done in the past, his resume with Atlanta, he had a speedy, vicious defense in Atlanta. And then obviously what he was able to do with the Legion of Boom, Bobby Wagner, those guys. He's a teacher. And you can see that he's going to break things down, especially with that defensive line. He's going to break things down. You heard Bohanna talk about it. He's going to break things down. He has a clear standard. That's what Bohanna said in his interview. This is what he expects from these guys. There's no room. There's no gray area. This is what we're going to do. And you see him getting there and him teaching, being very hands-on. That's what this team needs. This team needs that energy. And I always say the biggest, misnomer when it comes to the draft and team development and all those things is that there's really a lot of good coaches in the NFL. Because the problem is teams draft these players with no plan. Hey, I like the fact that, you hear Bobby Wagner's name when it comes to Micah Parsons. At least they have a plan of how they want to use the player. And I think that we're going to see a Dan Quinn be very hands-on, and I like that. Number 2, Mike is going to give these kids every chance to be successful. He said in his presser that he sees their confidence. Cowboys fans, I got news for y'all. Mike McCarthy didn't draft Leighton Vander Esch and Jalen Smith. He just didn't. He drafted Micah Parsons, and he drafted Jabril Cox. He drafted Nashawn Wright, and he drafted Kelvin Joseph. And one thing about a coach, at any level, when they're your guys, they're your guys. Now, obviously, Dak and Zeke are his guys, right? But some of the guys that are like fringe, not superstars, but playmakers and guys that, hey, get this kid a shot. I know that, we have other players from the other regime, but Mike's going to be that voice in the room. When he comes out and says, you can see the linebackers' confidence, get ready. When Micah Parsons comes out and says, they're starting me out at the mic, get ready. Because guess what? All of these guys are learning something new. There's no holdover. Leighton doesn't know this defense. Jalen Smith doesn't know this defense. Not the way that McCarthy and Dan Quinn are planning on teaching it. And so guess what? He doesn't owe those guys anything. He does owe his draft class the opportunity to compete. And you can hear it already that they're going to have that opportunity. Boss man Fat, man. He's smooth. Just some DBs just got that it. The hip turn, I'm going to do a video on this. The hip turn is very Tre'Davious White-like. He stays in phase. You could just see in the drill work, the hip turn and the stay in phase ability, it's second to none. I know Broad has said that he probably needs to get in a little bit of better shape, but all these guys do. I mean, the truth of the matter is an NFL practice is totally different from a college practice. It's constant movement. I know that Dallas Heat is different for some of these guys, but the fact of the matter is, just seeing Boss Man Fat, he's going to come in. Kelvin Joseph is going to come in and start day one. It's just like I said with Trevon Diggs last year, and folks were like, oh, no, they're going to ease him in. No. Fat, playing in that SEC, seeing that type of speed, being able to stay really in phase with Devonta Smith. He was able to do that. He's going to play from day one and let him struggle. But he just needs to be on the field. He's just smooth as butter, man. It's just nothing else I can say. Some corners got it. Some corners it just looks like it. Sometimes it just looks like they kind of they're like lumbering players. He's not one of those guys, man. Just from the clips that I saw and from my people in Dallas that are telling me, some of my little connection situation. He just smooth, man. He is. Nashawn Wright has something. Right, that's one of my points, man. Nashawn Wright, yes, Oregon State has something. And it wouldn't be surprising to me if Dan Quinn deploys a package, okay, that gets him on the field against bigger tight ends. And I said this during the draft cycle, but the more I watch him, and I told Cowboys fans, don't overreact to this pick. And so many of you guys trash this guy, and he's our guy now. So maybe they have a plan that we didn't have. And I like that he went out, he reached out to Richard Sherman. He said, hey, Sherm, there was in no way, shape, or form was I trying to disrespect you. And the first thing Sherman says is, hey, man, any way I can help, I'm going to help you. Like, to me, that's awesome. He had a pick in teamwork. I just think that, and another thing about Nashawn Wright is he physically looks long. Like, you can see his size. You can see how in a cover 3 situation, if he gets his hands on you, he is going to give receivers issues. He just is. Now, everybody had who they would have drafted. I don't care. This guy can play. Is he a day one starter? No. But could he push a guy like Reggie Robinson off a cliff, or some of these guys on the back half of the roster who are just there? He could. People will say, and I do not like this. I don't. People will say, oh, it's just camp. Oh, it's just like with the Jabril Cox pick. Oh, look who the quarterback is. That means nothing to me. What means something to me is that these guys are building confidence. If you get an interception in practice, that can't go down they have guys literally taking notes about what each player is doing throughout each session. If you get an interception, that's a check in the green. That's good. That's a confidence builder. Let's not always say, oh, I want to see it when they play the ones. We all do. But we do want to see steps in the right direction as well. So Nashawn Wright has something. Jabril is still. He has the pick. Mike McCarthy is singing his praises. Jabril Cox, the thing on him was his run fit game. Well, guess what? That can be coached. Okay, that can be coached. He's probably going to need to get a little bit stronger. But the instincts, the tip ball thing where he had to pick off the tip ball, that's just something that you can't coach. And I think that he has that. He showed it at North Dakota State and he showed it at LSU. Being able to play on each level, he continued to get better. He's going to continue to get better. I see this guy. I'm telling you, this linebacker room is really going to get shaken up. I could see Leighton actually end up playing a strong. Jabril mixing in some weak with Keanu Neal. Maybe he may even be a better pass defender than Keanu Neal. Who knows? Keanu Neal has always been a guy who just likes to play around the box and be physical. That's his game. So we'll see how it plays out. But so far, so good with these guys, man. It's just exciting to see them back on the field. And I just wanted to get my thoughts out. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's your boy Foots. Thank you guys for the prayers. Enjoy your family today, man. Enjoy your family today throughout the week. Give them a hug, all that good stuff. Hey!